2 days and 10 minutes of a third day later, and we are finally finished with scrapbook supplies, school supplies, everything. I'm just gonna do like one big massive reveal of everything. Starting over here, the living room is now completely clutter-free over here. The Lego drawer unit is going to stay over here. Like another mom put it really well, I'm a mom with kids. I don't have a living room that is a museum. I have a living room for kids. So I kind of also love that philosophy. And also we had so much stuff with our homeschool that the Legos were being used for anyways. Why would it just go to one of the two kids' rooms whenever everybody's using it for homeschool and just fun in general? And also Matt likes doing Legos with the kids as well. And like most of it, or probably half of this at least, is his too. So all the Legos are here, all the books for ideas there, Connects Only's there. Then we have Legos, Lego kits, and then some things that go with Legos. Have all of my nice stuff here. I think you've already seen the Valentine's decor video by now. I have one that melts wax, and all it's doing is melting wax, makes the room smell really nice. The Cool Mist humidifier was recommended by the kids' ear, nose, and throat doctor, so we try to run that every couple days. Whenever the air gets like really dry or staticky in the house, Cool Mist humidifier is running. So then across the living room, that everybody helped to clean, and I'm so thankful for that, and changed out all the pillow covers. These are on Amazon. I'll link them in the affiliates above, but these are from Amazon. I love them because they also look really nice, and like they look nice for any season, and it goes well with our dark colored couches. There's other prints, like there's other colors for that specific print, and I'll link it up here, but like, I think you can choose from 4 different colors. Kids switches are still there for now. I'm hoping to get something that'll maybe just be in that back corner behind or under that lamp, where I can have the rest of this table space back, because there's a couple things that, like, I would love to move this basket down there. So up here, the Kids VR Galaxy right here is for science. This bin is for school ideas of things that they have done in the past if they want to look back on them. Star Wars, where we did some creative writing prompts. Pokemon, where we also did math and creative writing prompts. Arctic one, just different like unit study packs that we've done that they wanted to keep are up here. Presidents, states and capitals, countries. This one is the states one. We're going to go back through it next year. That's why they're in a separate bin. And then Izzy hasn't been through it yet. So next year when Izzy and Madeline are U.S. history, Sarah will be in 9th grade. She's not specifically doing a history class, but she's going to do it just for fun, and she's already done most of them anyways, but she's going to go back through it. And then Rebecca's doing American history, so we're going to go back through the state and do like one state a week, except for January and February where we have more school time at home, and we're going to do 2 states a week then. This basket is mostly just for a quick grab and go. This can go on the coffee table when we're doing school at home. We have a pack for when we're traveling, but when we're doing school at home, it's easy. Just set this on the coffee table. It has a spare set of headphones. It has these glasses are some of the blue light glasses. That way, if the kids feel like they need to, it would help. But I've also heard like mixed reviews of if those actually help kids or not. Ranger Rick Jr. magazines for science, the folklore of world holidays. So it's like we have some science here. There's also, I think, a medieval book that one of them is going to go through for world history. But world history, science, more world history. I just want all the magazines in one spot. But we have world history, the big book of history, St. George and the Dragons. Like, except for like the Ranger Ricks, it's like world histories, all of our China stuff, Italy, and then we get into like specific fields of study. American Revolution, Revolutionary War, American Revolution, however you want to put it. World War I, World War II, Civil War, ones like that. Books on just like the Statue of Liberty, Piratology, dragons. And then we have the National Parks book for inspiration, a book on just fossils, and then we have like ones that we are working on or have recently worked on: oceans, astronomy, our movies as literature writing prompt book. I'll probably keep this until all the kids are finished with that. The Lion King we're using this year. The handbook for reading is the only Abeka book I ever kept, and I actually bought that before I even knew what Abeka was. I bought it just because it is the original blueback speller that my ancestors used to teach their kids. So that's why I kept that, and it's 100% not because it's Abeka. It's just that Abeka is the only one that still publishes the blueback speller, and all they did was rename it to the handbook for reading to copyright it for Abeka. Fun fact. fact. And I can actually show you guys proof of where that's a true story. I still use the 1828 because there's still some words that we prefer the 1828 definition to use as reference because it's more biblical based. Modern dictionaries, but it's there if we want to encourage them to look it up without just quick searching it on Google. And sometimes some words you don't want the Google pop-ups for them. This is a creative writing prompt jar. I'm keeping it right here on the shelf because this is where all of their literature writing prompts are, or their literature books are. So creative writing jar, if they have filler space and they need to do more writing for that week, or if I feel like, you know, they're lacking on it, or if we're traveling, usually we'll just grab one of these. They'll write the title at the top when we're traveling and go. So foreign language books, I have two that are doing ASL, one that's doing Spanish, one of the ones that's doing, I have one doing ASL, one that's doing ASL and Spanish. I have one that wants to do French and one that wants to do Japanese. So I have books for all of that. The ASL books you'll see in a minute. I'm seriously trying to hurry. That's more ASL. No, this is all manners. Manners is going to go into our health next year, first aid book, survival book. Then all of these are non-fiction, or some of these are non-fiction, and some of these are fiction, creative write, or books that we use for literature from here to here-ish. These are just fun read books. These are the non-fiction Usborne books that we have. The next two shelves are mystery books, Trixie Belden, Nancy Drew, that somebody gave us like original old copies of them. All of these are women-based books, and these are all of our kids' books, like Ladybug Girl, the original tales of Winnie the Pooh, fantasy stories from Disney, all of the Llama Llama books, The Little Engine That Could. Sarah actually redid the cart for me. I did the top shelf, she did the rest. This is our supply cart. It does actually roll. It's just on the slate floor, not as much. On the hardwood floor, it does great. But we also, because it has anything that has wheels, we try not to leave on the hardwood floor. These are the empty, we call them floppy folders, but apparently they're called pocket and prong folders. These are for what they use for individual fields of study, so that they know how to divide their classes up easier. Yes, it could just use a 2-inch binder, but they find it easier for like ADHD and just in general focus to be like, no, this is for math, so I'm focusing on just math right now. So that's why we have one for each subject, and then we have extras. These are spiral bound notebooks that we had bought for them to do individual studies when they were doing a backup, but then they are not using as much of this anymore. They're doing a really cool hybrid of creative writing on paper and doing virtual typing because that's the world we live in. And this is extra loose leaf paper that's not in a spiral bound, and it's also extra sheet protectors, and they're in these bins here. Next shelf down, this one Sarah did, so this is actually new to me. I actually don't know how she arranged this. Matt bought these baskets for me off of Amazon. I will link them below. This one is will actually hold full-length rulers, but this ruler has an extra attachment on it because of the, okay, maybe it doesn't. I thought it did hold full-length rulers, but it's not actually holding all of them. Oh, there's extra stuff in there. This one has an extra attachment on it to measure snow. Madeline made that years ago when we did a snow day at one of the only co-op days I ever have done, ever. Non-erasable colored pencils, erasable colored pencils. Looks like she put like any extra pencils, pens, whatnot in here. One for bookmarks. Let's turn this. Markers, and then this tray has like fabric, bookmarks, paper clips, things like that. These are like the books of the Bible memory cards. These are quick fact sheets about trees. These are crayons. This is a crayon castle that Madeline was given when she was 4. We kept the castle. We keep restocking because it's easier to just take this and set it on the table while they're doing school. And then a bunch of extra crayons to add to it. I ended up buying the Colors of the World color pencils. These are all erasers, scissors, a lot of different styles of erasers. These are eraser puzzles. They're so cute. They're glue sticks. And then these are caps to their scissors, and then cap erasers. So I think Sarah did a fantastic job on this cart. My grandfather, when I was in 5th grade, took me to the American Museum of Science and Energy. He used to work at, I won't say which for security reasons. He actually worked at one of the factories in Oak Ridge post World War II, and so he wanted to be the one to take me. So when I was in 5th grade, we went to that museum, and he bought me that as a souvenir, and I have kept it ever since. A lot of this stuff up here is like all of that. No, we'll start from those folders over. That's all personal stuff for Matt and me that we really don't have anywhere to like display that stuff, but it's stuff that we don't want to get rid of, so that's there. These are my pictures to scrapbook that I don't really want the kids to like get a hold of because some of these pictures like they need copied first because they are irreplaceable, and I don't want to put an original picture in a scrapbook. So that's my bin for me alone. That's a bin of like extra notepads and things for the kids. Sarah's science experiment. This is the kids' bins, and I have them divided up like per child. just Matt and me, and or family photos, and then like all the photos they're allowed to use for scrapbooking. And that way also they know, hey, I don't have to ask mom, I can just go ahead and use this picture, and sometimes I'll run extras off to refill that. Scissors for scrapbooking, the kids recipe cards, except for Izzy, she keeps hers in her room, but that's Sarah and Madeline's cards up there, and that's it for that. This whole shelf here, I'll just summarize, is Bible study books. Up here, from here to here is cookbooks. Some of these are older than I am. Some of these are older than my mother is. So like some of these cookbooks are really old. This is a cookbook that like if I find a recipe and I love it, I put it in here. And I told the kids, this is our family's cookbook and like our family's recipes. And then when like we make a recipe and we change a recipe and we make it our own, when we completely make one from scratch, it goes in here and that's where we keep it. These are all of my craft books. I don't know if there's no, these are none of the kids. These are all of my craft books. These are the kids' crafts books. These are like little pamphlets, just like little like one-off pamphlets about specific books of the Bible or about specific missionaries, stuff like that. So there is a little bit of that there. But this bookshelf used to have a lot more of these books on it. But the kids' books, they also have like their coloring books are right here because this is a really good place to put it. The rest of this over is sign language. Scrapbooking supplies. I'm so glad they all fit. This is where all of the scrapbooking supplies went, was from here to there. These are the books. This is the some of the stuff my mother-in-law has put together. She teaches them scrapbooking, which is great. Scrapbooking magazine, she's brought over a book that actually teaches them the history of scrapbooking, because fun fact, if you want to make it an official class, add a little bit of history to it and it becomes an official class. I didn't know that, but we learned that along the way. These are loose leaf sheets of scrapbooking paper, die cuts, cardstocks, stickers. That's what all those binders are. These are stamps, punches, anything to make like cute little decals, paper cutter. These are like cardstock, like loose leaf cardstock sheets. Those are little scrapbook sheets. These are the bins you've already seen us do for the kids. I will review those again maybe over the summer for our summer semester, but each kid has a separate floppy folder and stuff, and like everything they need for a day of school, they can pull their bin out, put it with them when we're at home. And then they have that. Chromebooks are working out over here for now. I just noticed one of these is backwards though. But they are working out right here, and it works out great because then they know that one's by itself because it has a different charger. They haven't gone through their electronics bins yet. It's a goal. We'll get it done. And then lastly, I love that we were able to fit all the gaming stuff back in the school corner like I've always wanted it to be. I had it here before, but then we ran out of room when we had to move all of the library books in here. We used to keep all the Bible-based study books and like the older subject study books in our room, but then as the kids entered high school, they needed some of those books as well. And I needed room for a designated desk just for myself for working, doing YouTube videos. So we ended up having to move the bookshelves out of there, and we did that. I lost my space for board games. I love using board games to teach. Like even through middle and high school, I love using board games to teach kids. I find that using puzzles is actually a great way to refocus concentration, and I have found that with a couple of mine, if you make them sit down, and not make them because they usually love puzzles, but if you have them sit down and do puzzles for a while, they actually will refocus, and like their brain will calm down enough to be able to refocus and go right back to creative writing. So I consider puzzles a part of our school. And then some of the other games, like Match is a really good game for like memory practice and things like that. Clue is a cool game because it like really makes you think a lot. And then we also have like Battleship, the Yahtzee game we picked up at Cumberland Gap when we went to Cumberland Gap for New Year's Eve 2020, New Year's Day 2021, different games like that. And then like Mancala was one that we used when we were studying Tower of Babel, because it was, you know, one of the prompts was play a board game from one of the countries that exists today that's different from your own culture. So we picked Mancala. I think there was also another thing about it. And also, and the absolute last thing is, we still left our map up here. If you've ever seen this map in the background and you're like, what on earth is that? This is our travel map. And one of our passions is, even if it takes until our kids are older, grown and gone, and they travel with us later, our goal was we want to take our kids before at least my youngest turns 18, and we wanted to travel the entire United States with them. Even if we never get to go to places that we want to go, like New Zealand, Iceland, places like that, then I at least want to go to the entire United States. I actually have a map of a road trip that I want to take from Maine back down to Tennessee. I have a road trip through these states here. I have a road trip to here. I have road trip ideas, but honestly right now most of it is funding. Matt does have more vacation time now, but due to some financial things that happened over 2020, we were unable to really get to utilize our funding that we had set aside for vacation. But as we go to a different state, we're so grateful for every travel opportunity we have, and we want to remember it. So when we come home, we will actually put a star sticker whenever we go to a new state. Like when we went to Mackinac Island, we went camping in Pennsylvania once. We've actually, when we went to Cumberland Gap, we crossed the Virginia line and stood in Virginia to look over East Tennessee, or part of East Tennessee. That was really cool. We've been to Biltmore, and then we've also taken Isley to something. And oh yeah, Clingman's Dome is also in North Carolina. And we live in Tennessee right now. Georgia, we go to frequently. Florida, the Bahamas, Kentucky. So like, we're so grateful for every travel opportunity we get. But this map is a way for us to like remember all the places that we've been and things we can look forward to. But that is it, you guys. That is our whole school corner completely redone. And I know, like, for some people you're like, well, it didn't look like they did that much, but actually it was a pretty big project. It was literally taking, except for I'll go ahead and show you, except for that shelf, that specific shelf, the one with the little figurines on it, that shelf, every single shelf was changed in this entire corner. So it was a huge process, and it was also like a lot of just like mental, like, do we need to get rid of stuff? Do we need to hold on to this? How are we going to fit it all? And it's also just like, it also was the time taking to like clear this out and organize over here. But guys, we are so super happy about this. Thank you so much for following along. And I will include one more quick thing that I did forget. You saw in our Valentine's Day video, I showed a little clip of this. This is a little trick that I picked up for you guys. And for those of you who watched to the end, you could do this trick. These are the candles by Southern Porch Scents. I don't like always burning candles, especially when it's on a bookshelf. But we had a decor here over Christmas that we really liked that had a light on it. And we're like, it would look really cool if we had a candle there. So what we did was we took a candle. This candle smells amazing. Like, you can walk up to it and smell it. It smells amazing. And we checked the bottom of this. It's not going to get hot on the bottom. We've worked on it. The only reason there's an indentation is because it got scraped when I put it in there. And then you set a tea battery candle on top of it, and it works great. Now, like, you'll have to feel some of the tea battery or battery powered tea candles, they'll get hot on the bottom. This isn't going to work. But if you look, none of that is melted. That is 100% just scratched from this candle being on top. But yeah, so we thought that was super cute, and the perfect final finishing touch for our school corner / library corner redo for 2023. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.